right, today we've got Faith Alston and Jemani Ingram after today's win against Mercer. We'll open it up for questions.
Hey guys, Zach Smith, High Country Sports. Huge game for both of you guys. Faith, obviously, new career high, 31 points. Jemani, you're 17. Into that fourth quarter, Mercer goes on a little bit of a run. What's the message down by the sideline, like in that timeout, when you guys start to make that run coming back?
Defense is key, locking in on defense. We had to turn it up a notch. As you can see, the first half wasn't our best defensively, so we had to make sure we won everything defensively.
So speaking of defense, you guys actually held Mercer to, I think it was 5 different times of 2-minute scoring droughts. What's the work that kind of goes into that behind the scenes from you guys?
Our whole focus is defense. Our defense generates offense. So, yes, there were times where we held them to 2-minute scoring droughts, or we went on a run, we had a 92 run or something like that. But we take a big pride in defense, and that was really the message in the whole fourth quarter was don't even focus on offense, focus on defense. That will get us going. So even though there were times where we did hold them to 2-minute scoring droughts, it needs to turn into full quarters, all this other like longer scoring droughts, and when we lock in on defense, we're unstoppable.
Any further questions?
First, congratulations on a hard-fought win. To speak on your defense a little bit more, just what was the mindset going in? Because you guys were all over the place on defense today. Was that had an impact on both your games today?
Like I said, defense is key, and whenever we go into prep for anybody, even if we're in regular practices and we're just going against each other, we take a big pride in defense, so the prepping is a big part of that. And going into this game, we knew that there were multiple kids that could go off. We knew that the post could give us some trouble, and it did, but it all comes down to playing together as one unit, and when everybody has the same mission, the same goal, everybody just moves as one, and it provides the energy, provides the effort, so everybody's ready to go. There's not a man down.
And then, you guys turned them over 18 times today and scored 15 points off those turnovers. How do you go about trying to capitalize over their turnovers and try to get as many points as you can on them?
The biggest thing is our pace, making sure we do convert. Like we said, defense is priority, so when we get the opportunity to convert or get a fast break, anything like that, it's important to make sure we knock it down.
Great. Any further questions? Awesome. Thank you, too.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Now we've got head coach Angel Elderkin after today's win against Mercer. Coach, if you want to start with an opening statement.
Yeah, and listening to the questions and everything, 78 points given up is not really something that we aim to do. And I think today we threw out our man, we threw out our zone, we went small, we exhausted everything. And I think what happens when a team exhausts everything, you get a win. So hats off to our team. Obviously, the mantra going into today was woman down, woman up. Not playing with Emily Carver, we knew was going to be something that could impact us offensively, but I don't think people understand what she brings defensively. But with that being said, I thought we had our players step up today in a way that we needed heading into conference play. But proud of our group, undefeated in the non-conference at home since I think 2018. That was one of their goals on their goal board, and you see it didn't come easy. We talk all the time, you get what you earn, and I feel as though our team earned this win today.
Awesome. Now we'll open it up for questions.
Zach Smith, High Country Sports. So sort of similar to the question that I had for Jemani and Faith, what was your message to the team, both at halftime and then the timeout that you used in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, so going into the fourth quarter, once we scored, I wanted to change our lineup and put in a smaller unit and switch everything and be really aggressive. And so I just kind of told them, They're scoring against our straight man. They're scoring against our zone. We've got to do something. We've got to turn it up. And that group provides depth and able to press. Mariah Frazier, the analytics tell us we can't play without her. We need her on the court defensively. So we went smaller. We put Shea Harris out there. I thought that was a defensive group that just really bought into picking up the pace of the game and picking up the pressure of the game.
So Faith setting a career high despite missing some time in the third quarter due to being hurt. Can you just talk a little bit about what she means to the team?
Yeah, the locker room was special because she had 30. We're all aware of that. She got the game ball. I gave out a game ball, but they spoke to being taken out, going to get taped up, and coming back in, and what that meant from a leadership standpoint, that she's the driver of this bus, and how important and impactful that was for her teammates. They saw her giving their all, so it just made them want to give more. So I know she scored 30, and it's so difficult because the stats are the stats, but I don't think people really see what she does on the defensive side of the ball for us. She's elite in every way, and I couldn't be happier for her.
One last one from me. So great win today. You hung in there with a tough matchup against Marquette a couple days ago. What's your confidence level going into conference play starting next week?
I think before we head into conference play, this was a good game because now we played without Emily and we're unsure as to when she'll be back. And so we've had to put some different people in some different roles. And so obviously that's not fun to do after you just go through your non-conference and you think you've got a rhythm. We were exceptional at Marquette. And that team at Marquette was challenged, and then they were challenged again today. So you see players like Alexis Black, Jamani Ingram, Mackenzie, you see Zeta, you see all those players stepping up. And that's what we're going to need to do because it's a new season. We come back 0-0, and we got to get ready for a tough Sun Belt conference.
Any further questions?
Coach, you spoke a little bit earlier about throwing pretty much everything at Mercer, when going small, zone, man, just throughout the game, kind of how do you make those decisions, and how do you base your decisions as the game goes on to switch things up and just try to throw different things at different teams?
Our staff does a really good job of just charting on the bench, and it was like, what's the zone giving up? What's the man giving up? And today was more of a feel. It was like, okay, I thought they were really going to beat us inside against the man, so go zone, and then they started beating us inside. And I really trust our guard play when they switch. I think they're very physical, and they present a problem. And when we went switching, we started giving up penetration, but we took away their post. So it was more of like we were trying things. Like, obviously, as a coach, I'm going to exhaust everything. I told them to empty the tank, so today was my turn to empty the tank. What else can we throw at this Mercer team to get us to the finish line?
And then you talked about not having Carver on the court, which is obviously a huge loss at this moment. But, you got some big performances from like Shea Harris, who went 2 for 4 from 3. And you had, everybody was, 2 for 3. Like Faith was 3 for 4 from 3. And Alexis pulled the slack from the 3-point line. How does that attest to you? What is that testament like for your team as far as being able to, next man up kind of mentality?
Yeah, so, woman down, woman up. But one of the better stats to really look at, when we score the ball, we share the ball. And so we just kept talking about that. So again, tonight we had 16 assists on 24 field goals. If you go back and look at Marquette, we had, it was 20 assists. Richmond, the games where we've really scored and really played well, we share it. And I think the team is really buying into it. And then we're also getting easier shots. So when we penetrate, we call paint to great. We draw 2 defenders. So now we're shooting stationary threes instead of contested shots. And I think our players are really starting to buy in to that brand of basketball.
Any further questions? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Happy holidays.